Uh, Thank you for joining us tonight on this beautiful occasion to talk about the kickoff of the CFA Society, Emirates Society Research Challenge. In the remaining time, first let me introduce myself. My name is Mohsen Saad. I'm a faculty in the Department of Finance at the American University of Sharjah. I'm also the Associate Dean and I am a board member of the CFA Society Emirates, and I'm chairing the university committee, and I am working this year towards having a really good and meaningful research challenge competition, one that adds value to all the participants. So I take the opportunity to thank you, faculty, because I know how the commitment it takes, and that only shows the caring that you have towards our students, because at this point the students, wherever they come from, irrespective of the university, they're ours. I also thank the students for showing up and for recognizing early on in their careers what a wonderful thing to do, to be able to participate. In the time left, without further ado, I will go over the slides. I will try to hit the major ideas, and then as I am trying to do the major ideas, you're welcome to leave messages in the chat, and then we will have the time to speak. And I really look forward to be able to answer all your questions, all your inquiries, and such that in a way that you leave out thinking, finish the meeting, thinking that it was useful, and one that addressed at least most of your concerns, hopefully all of them. So the CFA is a global association of investment professionals. This is at the heart of it. It's an association, and it's at the global level. And they have a mission. And the mission, to me, is the key word, is that they have to lead. And that's what it boils down to be able to lead. And they're leading the investment profession, but how do they do so? How does the institute can put in their mission statement that they wish to lead? And they do so by committing to a very high standard, to the highest standard that is in more than one dimension. It's great to be committed to a highest standard in a single dimension. It's excellence if you commit to a standard in a lot of dimensions. And that's what the CFA Institute does. So in terms of the education, it commits to the high standard. In terms of professional development, and in terms of standards of ethics and professional conduct, it is committed to the highest standards in all of the above, and as such, they have the elements of being able to succeed. So currently, like we said, it's a global association, so it has a global coverage. So it's currently spread across more than 150 countries. That's pretty much the planet Earth. In it, there is more than 170,000 CFA charter holders. So this is a massive association that has a very high influence on matters that are of local nature, regional nature, and or global aspect. So what brings us tonight is that we are talking about the research challenge. And the research challenge is a global initiative. It's not necessarily limited to the CFA Society Emirates, but it's a global initiative. So what we will be doing is we will be talking about our role in that context of a much bigger competition. So it has a history of greatness, pretty much like what almost everything else the institution does. Uh, Started 20 years ago. Yeah, believe it or not, it's only 20 years ago. Started by one society, CFA New York, one competition, one society. 4 years later, four other universities, four other countries joined, so it became like a global, and then 20 universities joined. Near today, almost every society participates, and look at the number of universities, more than around 1,200 different universities participate. Massive participation and engagement. So we, CFA Society Emirates, are trying to play our role, but our eyes are not just on winning the local competition. I mean, ultimately, every society will have a winner. We will have that, but our role is on having to compete beyond locally. So we will be ambitious, we will work towards that, and we will believe we are capable of doing that, winning beyond local. So how does this work? Like I said, it's a worldwide, it is intercollegiate, meaning across, as we have more than one college participating, and in which there will be a local competition, and the winner from the local competition advances to what's after it, and what's after it is regional, and then after regional, global. So how does this work? There will be teams, and each team is made three to five students, depending on how the team is being composed. And those are business students, and mostly with finance students being presented. And then these teams before they compete, they will receive two mentors, a faculty mentor and industry mentor. So there is a team, there is a faculty mentor, there is an industry mentor, and then the team put a report and they make a presentation, if you look at the slide, and it is being judged. And it's judged by professionals, by experts in the fields, by the CFOs of the world, the investment managers, those who know how to evaluate equity research reports. So after that, the judges select the winner, and that will be the local champion, and the local champion advances, like we are all hoping to do, and make wins in the regional and hopefully global. So why would you do that? And as a student, and of course, as a student, like few are decisions that are obviously great. This is one. This is evidently a great decision. This is evidently a decision in which a student like you now today, sacrificing who potentially you are today in the hopes of who you will be in the future. And it's the right thing to do. You're sacrificing perhaps some free time, you're adding stress, you're adding effort, you're adding learning to an already full schedule, because you're a full-time student and you have exams and your finals coming up, but you're doing so because you recognize that all of this is going to take you to a better place. And the better place is that you will be able to become successful, and you will be very proud of your decisions, the ones that you've made when you were young at this age. So you will gain, I like this greatness in blue and big colors, because that's what it is. That's what your eyes are on. So you're going to gain practical training, your communication skills will be improved, your network will be improved. And yeah, your CV matters. Of course it does. And this is something to be added on your CV, and you will be adding it proudly. So like I say, there are benefits to it, and you're going to work for it to achieve the benefits. So those are there's a network of global students. Those are the past participants. When I first looked at this slide, here's what I saw. I saw happy faces. Everybody has a smile. I see proud faces. Everybody wants to be in the picture. Nobody's hiding because they're proud of their achievement. And that's the kind of thing we're hoping to achieve. That you as student, when you join in, you're proud. You have something you want to tell your friend, you want to tell your parents, you want to tell everybody around, you want to tell the whole world what you have done, because it is a source of pride. Exactly like these guys. And what I have inside of me is some of these students, maybe I don't know you today, will be joining such a photo. And next time we make this presentation to another set of students, we're going to tell them it was done by those who went before you, and now it's come out. This is your turn. So carry on with the greatness. 2021, last year. So more than 5,000 students. I mean, if you go and tell me I'm going to compete against 5,000 students, I know my odds are not very high. Those are 5,000 competent students, but I don't look at it this way. I look at it as a challenge. It's actually called the research challenge. I look at it as an opportunity to be able to improve. And that's what it is. We will make sure that you improve between the day you join until the day you leave. It's done on a volunteer basis. There are 3,000 volunteers worldwide. There are 150 CFA societies involved, more than 900 universities in 91 countries. So really massive, really global. So there were winners, of course, at the regional level and at the global level. At the regional level, the champions were the following listed on the slide, and at the global level, the Norwegian Business School, good for them, they won the global final. But why am I saying this? I'm saying all of this is to take us to who won last year in CFA UAE. And last year we had the winner, we had the champion. It's not a secret who won, but something really strange, something happened with the winner is that they did not receive their trophy. And the reason why they were not celebrated the way they should be is because of all the COVID and the social distancing and the stringencies that came with it and all of that. And I take this very moment to congratulate Middlesex University, Dubai, for winning the 2021 Research UAE Local Challenge. And this trophy must have been presented to them in person, and we'll manage to send it to them. But for now, if they're listening to me, or if the professor Rashista Puthia is joining me, we thank you for your effort, for your mentorship, for leading the students all the way towards their success. And for the students, this is an amazing opportunity. Good job from the bottom of my heart. And again, if I have seen you in person, I would be like congratulating each and every one of you. A job well done. Now, the road to the final. So what are the steps? So if you look at this slide, and from this point on, it's going to be a little bit tactical. So you're going to bear with me, but we're going to make it useful. So you're going to bear with me. So there are 5 steps. If you look, there's something in orange and below it in blue and then deep gray. The orange, I'm going to go through the orange line first. There is the local final, meaning UAE, and then there is the sub-region, and then there is the regional semifinals, and then the regional finals, and then the global finals. So 5 steps. So it starts with us accomplishing the local final. So this is the most immediate. This is the most evident. We're gonna get the local finals. I will look down and I see a virtual or in person. I mean, who knows? But when is that? It has to be done before March 2nd, 2022. The whole drama is completed in March 2022. By March 2022, we know who this is completed. So we will be the society organizing this event, and we will conclude it. Now I'm gonna go faster. So March 2, local region, local final is completed. Step 2 kicks in. It is the sub-regional. It has to be completed by March 30th, and it is a virtual format. And it is virtual, and it is a recorded presentation. So this is like about the most boring one. Step 3 gets more exciting. Because in step 3, it is still virtual, but it's a live presentation, has to be concluded in April 5 to 7. Step 4, when you go to the regional finals, that's an amazing accomplishment if you go through steps 2 and 3, and then you go in person to New York in May. First of all, it's a great time of the year to visit in New York. It's in person, it's live, gives you the opportunity to shine and show and really showcase all the hard work of you, the faculty, the mentor, everybody who contributed to this wonderful event happening on May 17 in person in New York. And on that day, there is also the global champion will be declared also, but the difference is there will be a prize of $10,000 that will go towards a scholarship. So where we are today, the rest of the presentation is really talking about step 1. So I will take step 1 and I will zoom more into it. So who are we? We are a group of universities. We're competing against each other in a fair way towards a very good objective, the one that we talked about. And in alphabetical order, there is Abu Dhabi University by Professor Hazem, Ajman University, Professor Rajesh, and then American University of Dubai, Professor Burko, American University of Sharjah, Professor Osama, Canadian University of Dubai, Professor Klaas, Middlesex University. I think we came across this, the winners of last year, Professor Rashita, and then University of Sharjah, Professor Muhammad, Zayed University, Professor Jagadish, and then I'm IT Professor Rajesh, NYU Abu Dhabi, Professor Rasa, and HCT Professor Hajar. And it is, I take the time to read them because each one of them, we have contacted you perhaps once or more than once. And at times you have contacted us. I take this moment to thank each and every one of you. Seriously, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for participating. It only adds to the richness and to the more competitive nature of this competition. All right, timeline. So today we're October 20, and I'm looking at this table. I'm trying to read it carefully because it is a table that you want to keep in your head, and you're gonna get this PowerPoint, but you're gonna keep it. So in the coming 10 days, October 30th kicks in. And that is an important date. You cannot skip because you have to register with the CFA Institute. You don't register as a student, faculty, then industry mentor. You will not be able to join in the competition. So I take this as the most immediate deadline that I cannot miss, and I should not. Again, it's an opportunity, like we said, to add greatness. So you're gonna take a note, you're gonna say, okay, fine, I have 10 days to do that, I can do that. Now, immediately after that is November 17 and December 7, and I will attach them together because if you read under the kickoff column, you will see that these are either company presentations or company Q&A. The common between them is their company. So this is the subject company. I'm not going to tell you which is the subject company now because I'm not going to spoil it. It's going to come in the coming few slides. So you will have two opportunities to interact professionally with the company on which you will be writing your own equity research report. So one is a company presentation, November 17, the other is December 7, where you will get the chance to ask questions. This is a wonderful window of opportunity to come prepared. Now I'm looking at this and we are October 7 and we are October 20, I'm sorry, and this is December 7. This is not much time between today, and today is gone, till December 7. In other words, or December 17 even. In other words, if you really wanted to benefit from getting the maximum gain and benefit from these two meetings, you have to start your work ASAP. Now, you have met with the company 2 times, or 2 events. January 12, the first report is due to your mentor, your industry mentor. Now, that again, that's not very far from today. Time passes by, add to it final exams, midterms, and all of that, and you're busy, and New Year's as well. So January 12, you give the draft to your mentor, it gives you the feedback, it gives it back to you, and you have between January 12 and February 12 to submit your final report. Pretty much, the curtains are closed, the show is over, and pretty much you can no longer improve on your report. What happens is that the local final presentation is taking place on January 26th. So between February 26th. So between February 12 and 26 are 14 days. In the interim, our judges are grading. And our judges do grade on a volunteer basis. And like we say, these are busy professionals with great expertise, and they are grading your work. Now, you make the presentations on the February 26th, and the local champion is declared. Now, and then there will be the advancement to the, like we described, to the sub-regional, regional semifinals, and hopefully regional finals and global. So what are our rules? Teams 3 to 5, you perhaps know that. More than 1 team is okay. Please try to limit it to 2. Goes without saying that this is student work. In other words, nothing like, again, we are committed to the highest level of ethics, so we're not going to copy material. We're not going to find an equity research report that is already being done and we take the material from it. We're not going to contact other professionals and take their work and pretend it's ours. We're not going to do any of that. We're going to present our work because we're proud of our work. We're being very well trained. And that's what it is, and to take the opportunity to learn and to improve and to do our best, give it the best shot we can. It's an opportunity for you to compare yourself to those who stand next to you. So mentors and faculty may not contact the company because there will be the events that are scheduled for this purpose. The reports must conform with competition rules. So there is a certain format that you have to abide with. And finally, you have to stick to the code of ethics. Good goes without saying. I mean, it's in the mission statement of the institute. So for the advice to the faculty, by all means, insight, guidance, mentoring, teaching, meeting, helping them on research methods, evaluation tools, techniques. That's what it is. According to the guidelines, 10 hours maximum. They can read your research. They can see the kinds of things you've worked on, perhaps apply some of the methodologies or modeling that you've done. But in the end, it's a student work. So there's got to be a separation between where our role ends and where the student role begins. On to the industry mentor, again, the insights, the guidance, and to provide a complete view, the practitioner may provide insights that are relevant perhaps from the practitioner's perspective. 6 hours maximum. It could be face-to-face, it could be virtual. They will review for you the first draft to the students, and they will give you feedback on it, and they will help you in the development of your presentation skills after the final report is produced. So there's and then there is resources. The blue links are clickable, so you click on them, you can go, and they are under 3 categories: prepare, research, and then network. So under prepare, we have different links that you can click on. For example, you need to know the official rules. You need to review the participation agreement. You need to commit yourself to the code. You cannot say, I don't know the code. You have to know it, you have to commit to it. And you have to review the recommended readings and tools. And who's gonna make a better job? Those who are more prepared. That's what it is. You take every single resource, take the best out of it. In terms of your research and to write your report, familiarize yourself with the official competition requirements. There are written report essentials. Don't miss on essentials. You may miss on something else, but you miss on essentials. When the graders come and grade, you're not going to stand up. Your work will not stand up. Submit the report using the required official competition cover pages. Again, everything speaks of you. The quality of your work speaks of you and your effort. So the more you are able to know everything and present it in the most professional way, the more someone is going to say, I am looking at quality work, and then hopefully they will be able to appreciate all what went in it. In terms of network, you will have the opportunity to put this on your LinkedIn, that your CFA Institute Research Challenge participation. So you're participating in that. And then you can belong to a community on LinkedIn. It's the Research Challenge. It's a LinkedIn community of past students. All right. There is not limited resources. It's the opposite. There is so much resources on the website of the CFA Institute, on YouTube, on this presentation. And perhaps one of the most important is what those who won the competition, what did they do? So apparently, you could actually look at YouTube and see regional competition last year and do your search. I personally did not, but I heard that they are doing. So if it is on YouTube, take advantage of it. And that's my view. Take advantage of everything that is public out there to learn and improve. And that's the idea. By the end of it, you have seen those who won globally where they are. And if you work towards them, you've improved. So we post for you the Global Champion 2021. We put for you 2 links, one for the report, one for the presentation. I would think these are insightful. I would think these are very useful. I would not take them lightly. And perhaps not necessarily an official advice. I would start there. I would see, like, how did the winner look like? What did they write? How did they speak? How did they present their ideas, thoughts? How did they break down complex thoughts into simple ideas, communicate them under stress to a group of people, judges who are experts? How did they accomplish that? Learn from others. And that's what it is. So the research report, the judges will be looking for a certain set of criteria. And those criteria out of the following. There will be a point system that will add up to 100. So every one of you will receive a mark, a grade, a percentage out of 100. So there will be a grade on business description, 5%. You know what? And I scroll down that column, the points, and then my eyes stop at the 2020. 20% is valuation, 20% is financial analysis, and then the 15s come next. So there's investment risks, ESG, and perhaps some of you are saying, what's ESG? And it's good to know. And then there is the investment summary, 15, and then to lower view, the description and the industry overview, competitive positioning. So this is a little bit of the industry analysis and structure. Now, you write your report with this in mind. You don't write your report with this not in mind, because you want to be able to get the maximum points towards this 100%. The presentation, it's not surprising that it will look at similar set of criteria. So financial analysis 20, valuation 20%, ESG 10, presentation skills 20%, questions and answers 20%, team spirit 5, or involvement materials 5. Now, what we will do is, as a society, CFA Society Local, is that we will, once you register, or by the end of this month, October 30th, we know who officially registered, and then we will be committed towards training you. So we will create events where you are trained in soft skills and in hard skills. We will find events to train you on how you make more effective presentation, communication. How do you do like the task that I just described, so that you are able in this section to score the highest towards your 100%. And the same thing for your analysis. We're going to give you the models, the methods, the techniques, and we're going to teach you a little bit of that as well. And again, there will not be a limitation of resources. There will be the exact opposite. It will be those who can take advantage of the wealth of resources in a short amount of time, under pressure, be able to put it in a report in a meaningful way, so that a grader recognizes all of that went in. Hopefully you win. So I promised I will give you the subject area here, the subject company. Here it is. Here it is. It is ADNOC. It is a fantastic. I'm excited about reading these reports even before they start, because ADNOC is such a fascinating company. It's established 1973. The really interesting thing about it, of course, the whole industry is quite exciting, and it's in an industry that's witnessed petroleum products. So ESG is coming. The future of petroleum is a very interesting thing to think about. There's quite a lot happening over there. It's one of the region's largest and most innovative. And what is really also interesting, what makes this company is it's belonging to a group of companies that are government owned or partially owned. Those are very interesting dimensions to make a report. It goes beyond just a company that is being publicly traded. It has other dimensions as well. So if you're able to incorporate that. So lastly, as of the time this presentation was prepared, or those are 2020 financials, the price, open, high, volume, just to give you a little bit of a feeling of the company. My eyes went down to the net profit margin, and the net profit margin is 15%, and I'm thinking, not bad at all. All right, 2 interactions with the company. We subject company, we said that. Do you remember the days? December 7, it was 17 and 7, something like that. Yeah. And then there are designated officers from the company. You can't contact anybody, and it has to be coordinated exactly like we described. One of the mentors, the industry or the faculty, has to be there with you, and it is organized communication only. So how do you get the data? The CFA Institute provides you with a database that's Refinitiv. Some institutions do have Refinitiv on their own, so they do not necessarily need the username and password to be provided. But say you don't have Refinitiv to be given equal or level competition, there is these 3 links that you can click on each and every one of them and learn what's inside Refinitiv. Now, I know Refinitiv, and there is wealth of information in Refinitiv financial data. Whether it is being updated specifically for ADNOC as of October 20th, 2021, that's a good question, depending on the variable and what you're looking for. So that's the kind of thing. But yes, that's something you want to look into, availability of data, given whichever models you will be focused on. Okay. Oh no, did I? Yeah, and this is my last slide. So so what's in it? What's there for there? Okay, so visit the website, register for the competition. So I'm talking to the students now. Take advantage of the educational material, watch the videos, read the past reports from the winning teams, and make sure you register before the end of this month. And hopefully you will be like these young individuals in this picture, proud and happy that you have gone through this. I end my presentation and I open the floor for Q&A. Thank you so much. So I do have 8 chats that I didn't get to see when I don't know if they were answered or not, but you can talk to me as well. Thank you, Hajar. Yeah, I just read the last message, and yeah, is there anything that we can together talk about, or anything that you wish me to clarify? Please, it's the right time to talk. It's a very good opportunity for us to do something together. Anything, any question, by all means. I mean, that's what we're trying to achieve. Hajar, yes, thank you.
Hi, Dr. Mohsen. How are you doing?
I'm great.
I just have a question regarding access to the database. When would we have access to that? Starting the registration, or from now when we confirm our participation?
It's an excellent question. I'm going to guess that starting in the registration, there are 10 days before now. I don't, okay, I'm going to say as well, is there a reason why you cannot register as soon as possible? Meaning no. The 30th is the deadline. So if we are able to register before it, perhaps we can get easier, faster access.
Yeah, that's the thing. If we can get access before the start or the end of registration period or not. So that's kind of the question. Yeah.
It's a great question, Hajar. And the way I'm thinking about it is immediately when registration happens. The good thing is I think you can register anytime, but it has to be before the 30th. But do you mind if I follow up with a question, with an answer that is confirmed? Meaning I follow with the institute and give you like accurate, detailed, useful answer.
Sure thing. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're most welcome. That's a wonderful question. Thank you, Hajar. So access to, yeah. I'm reading a question on the chat. Do we need to work on ADNOC distribution for the challenge? Yeah, yeah. The subject company is ADNOC. Okay, other comments, other questions?
Hi, Dr. Mohsen. This is Dr. Sanya from Abu Dhabi University.
Hello. I think we've emailed or, yeah.
Yeah, so can you hear me?
I can hear you well.
Okay. It's just that the timeline and the schedule looks a bit packed for the students as are going through the midterm and the final exams. So what do you recommend? I mean, for me, the students are going to get shocked with the dates. Within 10 days, we have to kick off our preliminary research. So I am not sure about how hectic that can be if we have any, you know.
So the way we
Yeah.
did this is back in time. So our ultimate, the hard deadline is that you go back to this slide, is the March 2nd. That's when everything has to be completed, the entire thing communicated, reported, all of that. So we tried to do backward, and then we ended it on the 26th. But then there was grading to happen. If you look at the number of participants this year, we were happy that we have quite a lot of participating universities. But there's a downside to that. The downside to this many universities is that they need to be graded. So to find judges, and these are very busy people, to be able to grade that many reports and be ready on the 26th, it was not possible with less than 2 weeks. Now that's to have the final report. Now, if you look at between February 12 and January 12, really it is just the crafting the report. Now, and I think I imagine that this is a very, very good time for our students to work. So it really is, the semester, the fall has ended, it's in the break, and then the spring semester is about to start or started around this time. So my biggest feeling would be that if the students are like the best students, meaning those who are really academically strong, they know how to handle stress, they know how to handle exams and midterms. And if they plan it in such a way that they do the hard work as they go, of course, but it is that inter-semester break where they invest enormous amounts of time in that break. And then perhaps in the beginning of this first semester, before things get really the exam week, with the proper mentoring in place, they can. But yes, it's a challenge, the research challenge. I'm glad you highlighted it. Now that you have highlighted it, I suggest that all of us, when this is taken to the students, that it is put there and studied, because as you have suggested, it is to win requires commitment and understanding that this has to be done in a timely manner. But it's quite, yeah, it's quite.
Right, I'll try communicating this with the students. So if I can ask you one more thing. So next day, we have to either, is it a submission, or what do you mean by preliminary research? Because for me, yeah.
No, no, there is not. Okay, there is nothing. The preliminary research, there is perhaps the kind of research that that you add NOC, you know how to get Refinitiv, get your username and password in place, start saying what exactly they try to download different variables. But it will take a student who's never used Refinitiv some time before they download the first variable. But once they know how to download a variable, the rest of the variables will come easy. So that's what we mean, like start getting to learn about the interface in the data, start learning about ADNOC, read about it, start seeing those different sites, start that kind of thing. But I don't suspect that, like in terms of actual research, then this is expected in the coming 10 days. Yeah, I'm sorry if that has led in that direction.
No worries. I'll try to communicate this with the students. It's about because it's online, and the difficult part is getting a good group of students from section or whatever section we are looking at. challenge for us. So let's see how we can go about that.
And you're absolutely right. And this is what it boils down to, because in the end, if you are fortunate to have the good team, the perfect team, and those would be students who already know, have done valuations, they know models. One of them is great in accounting because financial statements. One of them is really great in presentation. One is really having like great writing skills. One can put the team together. So it really has to be a group of people together. If that mix is there, then the rest is easier. But if your starting point is a team that was put but given some constraints, then it will be harder. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I think Harriet, I see. Harriet what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Professor Mohsen, this is Dr. Ulhas Rao here. I hope you can hear me.
I do. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Professor Mohsen. That was very, very helpful. So, Professor Mohsen, firstly, I think there was some communication gaps. So, firstly, I just wanted to, confirm our university's participation, because recently our bachelor's and master's program, that is BA and MA in finance, has been CFA affiliated, and because we got this invitation, so we were under the impression that we are there in the first instance. So it was a bit surprising that our name was not there. So that was one thing. So so if we could get that clarification ASAP, because our students, we have been making noises, and our students are fully ready to jump in. Every year we have been participating, and we are absolutely eager to make sure that we give our best. So looking forward to this year's challenge, and it can't be more exciting than ADNOC. Professor, the next thing was the Refinitiv actually. So we have the Bloomberg database. So could we use that as well, and would Refinitiv be an add-on database to be used for this particular purpose?
It's a very good question. At the top of my head, I mean, if there is something that is unique to let's say Bloomberg, that is perhaps going to give one team an advantage that is not available for another team, whether the rules allow that. At the top of my hand, I don't have an answer. I would follow up, because we do have the same thing. Like at the US, we have Refinitiv and we have Bloomberg. But is it possible that there is something on Bloomberg that will make some teams more in a higher advantage compared to other teams? Because Bloomberg is not free access. So unless you have the access to it, and I presume not everybody has the access. I think that's a wonderful question. I will follow up on that one as well. So with you, sir, I will follow on 2 points. The first is why the university name is not there. We apologize.
Yeah, that's the most important one. Yeah, sure.
Yes, and excited about the students are happy. That's always fantastic to hear, because usually the problem is always the opposite, which is the students, we need to back. And the second one is whether Bloomberg or any kind of other resource that is not freely available, but available to a subset universities, whether that it can be used since the universities already have it. Yeah, those are two. I will follow up both. On the second one, however, I will follow up with everybody on board so that everybody has.
That should be fine. That would be perfect. Thanks a lot, Professor. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Yeah. So that was Harriet Watt. I'm looking at the chat just to see if there's something directed to me. Yeah. Anyone else has questions? Again, it's an opportunity. If there is anything on your mind, like in the last instance, I did not have an answer, but I promised to give you one. Hajar, I think Hajar, right?
Yeah. Sorry again, but a question just popped out in my head. So some of us are graduate students who work full time, and do we need to kind of disclose the companies just for like conflict of interest or anything?
Not at the top of my head, but my first question, what came to my mind is, are they taking courses this semester with you?
Yes.
They are.
So I'm one of them. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, are you Hajar? The Hajar I know.
Yes.
Okay, I recognize your voice now. No, it doesn't seem to me that disclosing the name of the employer of where you are um, is necessary, unless you have a reason to think that there is a conflict of interest there. So perhaps if you're working for ADNOC for one reason or another, then yeah, absolutely. Like, but if you're working with a very close to ADNOC and somehow you have access to something that others don't have access to, then yes. But if otherwise, I don't necessarily personally see a reason if you're working somewhere else that like have nothing to do with that industry.
Yeah,
That was another very good question.
I'll have to check with my colleagues to see if I'd have any access to that information, and if so, I'd have to disclose it. But so far, I don't have any relationship or connection to the company that we're doing.
I appreciate your approach very much. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Hamza. All right, so unless someone has something else, I mean, I would love to take one more question. These are the really exciting questions and quite thoughtful, honestly. Unless there is anything more, for me, it ends the meeting. It's within the hour, and normally everything that is within the hour and remains useful is an accomplishment. So I take it as such. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm available at emails. Feel free to email me. I will text my email to everybody. Let me do that, and perhaps you know it. So again, my name is Mohsen, and my email is saad@aus.edu. Feel free to email me. I will follow back on the questions that were addressed to me and not fully answered. Thank you so much and have a good night. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome, sir.